Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Quilt Bingo. Yes, today we're doing inset circles. Now, inset circles are so much fun to do, and I've given you a couple of really easy ones to do, and I'm just looking forward to them so much. So, in the show notes below, you're going to find the PDFs for all the beginner, the intermediate, and the hard. And really, they're just a lot of fun, and they help you learn how to sew curves, right? So they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. But first, let's get to our shout outs before we get into this, because we have so many fun things, and I had a whole bunch of extra blocks I'm going to show you at the end that I was able to make with all the stuff that I cut out. So that's all good. First off, Jenn at Jenn George Burt. Her YouTube channel is going to be in our show notes below. Lovely stuff she's doing over there. Lovely stuff that she's doing over on her channel, right? And the second one is Jess at Blessed by Jess. She's having so much fun over on her YouTube channel. Both of them, when you go over there, tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Give them some words of encouragement. You know, hit their like and, you know, subscribe and all the rest of the stuff for them as well, because I'm sure these ladies would love, you know, to have some words of encouragement, right? So also, this is September 19th when we're filming this, and Mini Monday is coming back with a bunch of changes. So those are blocks that are less than 12.5 inches unfinished, right? So we could do really tiny little ones, or we could do, you know, 9.5 or, you know, whatever we need. But it is coming back with some changes, and we are doing those Mini Mondays by foundation paper piecing, English paper piecing, small piecing, just regular small piecing, and maybe some hand piecing. I'm not sure yet, but we'll show you. You'll see how that's coming. Now, I'm not sure how this is filming, you know, when it might, Mini Monday might be up and running by the time this one hits. Also, our Zoom sew dates are in those show notes. There's so many things you got to get into that show notes for, like the PDFs for this pattern for inset circles. The Zoom sew dates are the first Saturday of every month, and it's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. Making comments, share, like, subscribe, hitting that bell so you don't miss content, thumbs up, all of that helps our analytics drive our videos forward, so we can come and continue bringing you some fun free patterns every week. Now, we do 3 videos a week, so you're going to get 3 free patterns. The Quilt Bingo, of course, already comes with 3 patterns. So, yeah, Quilt Bingo's kind of throwing out those numbers and giving you more, but that's okay. Also, we have a Facebook group and a virtual sewing room that's hosted by Discord. We have a number of fun community chats to join, and we do fabric exchanges by country to reduce postal costs and avoid the import duties. Also, the admins have asked me for anybody who's trying to join that Facebook group, please answer all the questions and agree to the rules. Otherwise, you don't get into the group. So we're trying our very hardest to have a fun, safe group to play and chat and have a good time in. But that's one of the things the admins have asked me to say to you guys is answer the questions, agree to the rules. Also, I speak for free, and I have a second presentation coming up, and that's going to be due January of 2026, you know, the end of December of 2025. And so that'll be 2 speaking engagements that I have. And I speak to quilting guilds and quilting groups. Now, the first speaking engagement is about elements of design, playing around with quilt blocks, making charity quilts, working with your scraps, and just having fun with your quilting. The other speaking engagement is going to be a bit of a surprise, and I'm not letting anybody know just yet what it's all about, but we're going to have another fun little speaking engagement for people. Shout outs also, please keep sending them to me. I'm giving 2 at a time because I want to get through the list I have already by Christmas, and I'm hoping that everybody then gets a good shout out. But I've been finding some really cool channels from you guys sending me shout outs and links to shout outs. So that, please continue doing that. If you see somebody having fun or doing some beautiful work or needs some recognition, send them my way. I'll be happy to give them a shout out. Now, if you need to get a hold of me either for a speaking engagement or for handing me a shout out, you can find my email address under the About tab, and it'll give you, you know, like you have to, you know, click the button and say you're not a robot and all that, but it does give you an email address. I am much faster answering questions within the Facebook or Messenger, right? You know, about the speaking engagements and, you know, shout outs and all the rest of the stuff. Now, with the shout outs, please don't tell them it's coming. This is our way of sneaking around and doing something fun for people, right? I mean, this is the best part of doing shout outs, is they don't know it's coming. And lastly, our so long that's coming after Quilt Bingo is done. Now, guys, we're more than halfway done. Is Twinkle Twinkle, and the only clue you're getting for Twinkle Twinkle is save your strings, because you're going to need them. And it's going to come up so much fun. Now, if you don't have strings or you're anti-string and you just know I don't want to do strings, you cut pieces and still make a beautiful quilt out of this little idea that I've had. So I think that's it. That's all we have to talk to you about. Yeah. Anyways, come on in. We'll start. We're sewing with Inset Circles. Okay, so we're at the sewing machine and we're going to do inset circles. Now the first inset will of course be this, you know, this piece here. Now you're sitting there, this has been folded and ironed, right? So I have a piece that I cut approximately 13.5 inches, which is a little big, but that's okay. But it's all been laid out now on the quarters, right? So I know exactly where this needs to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, you know what? I'm going to show you the 1/8, because if you are doing the intermediate or the hard, you might need to know how to do this on the 1/8. So what you want to do is you just want to press little divots in on the 1/8. Now normally I would have done this on the ironing board, but here we are, you know, it is what it is. So now I'm just going to mark all 8 divots that I've created with my fingernail. And that's this technique will help you with your placing your circles in. Now, the circle has to be 1 inch larger than the hole. And this is what messes people up, because it doesn't look like they're going to fit, right? So they're all kind of like, why is that going to fit? That's not going to fit. Yeah, it is. Trust me, it fits. Now let me just get the quarters, or the 1/8 marked. Now if you do this on the half and the quarter and the 1/8, and you match up everything, you have perfect inset circles. So I was just going to show you how to do this on the 4 with the beginners, but if you want to learn how to do it more intermediate, you're going to need to do the 1/8. And there, get that. Okay. Oops, there we go. Get that. And now we're going to get the other side. Oops. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of pinning. It's odd to see me pin, isn't it? Right? But you know what? This is what makes this so much easier to do, guys, is the pinning. And you only pin from about 1/4 inch down. You don't take big bites. Now we're going to do the same thing here with the circle. We're going to do that, you know, that pressing that divot in. And I'm just going to press it against the wood because I think that'd be a little bit easier to see. And we got divots everywhere now. So let's just go around and pin them. Now pinning helps you see the divot, right? Because as you're sewing, that divot might come out because you've just put it in with your fingernail, right? So if you pin it, you can see it. That's a quick little cheat, and it makes it makes such a difference on your inset circles when you're doing them this way. Okay, now we're gonna do this, and there we go. Another one right here. And then on the sides. There we go. Last up. There. Yeah, these are a lot of fun. Now some of you are kind of wondering, what's the blue long thing for? Well, my color palette is red, yellow, blue, and green now because I've had to add in some greens. So that's fine. So I decided I better add in a third color, right? Just to make sure it looks like it belongs. So I'm just going to move this all out of the way. Because I find these boards, they're great to move block A from block A to block B. But sometimes the board catches and creates drag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this off a bit. And I'm going to start like here. Just like so. There. I'm going to line these up the best I can. Right at the pivot point. Right at that point. Ooh, there we go. Now, an inch bigger, right? So you think you're going to have a lot of, you know, there's going to be some issues coming out of that. No, there's not. You just have to ease and play and take your time going around. Now I have what is a 10-inch circle on my circle ruler. I've got a 10-inch circle, and this is all cut on the fold of fabric. Okay, there we go. There we go. There. And the first 8 is done. And it looks like it's going to, everything is going to run through and it's going to look beautiful, right? Well, let's take that out. Yeah, this 1/8 trick is such a cool way of doing these blocks because, wow, it's so helpful when you're doing this way. Okay, let's get a little bit more. And you just take your time. You know, it's fiddly kind of work, I guess. But you end up with some very beautiful, very modern looking blocks with inset circles. And inset circles really, once you figure out how to do them correctly, they're beautiful. You know, they're just a lovely way of creating a block. Now, we've shown inset circles before, and we've done it on our case studies. I've explained how to do this on case studies. But, you know, this is a skill you need to learn how to do, right? There's also inset squares, which is also an interesting case study, or one to do, to add in. Oops, there we go. And just push that out and it would go perfectly all the way around. Now, the larger the circle, the easier it is to sew. So this is a 10-inch circle and a 9-inch hole, according to my ruler. And that's going to create a very lovely, you know, circle. Right now, we're not even quite halfway around. Oh, well, let's keep going. So, I don't know, some of you know we brought kittens in this house. Get kittens, he said. It'd be fun, he said. And, yeah, they're not as settled. We're finding out very quickly they're not as settled as adult cats. I would have, I see cats that are older in the pet rescue, and I'm like, oh dear God. And the older they are, the harder they are to adopt out. And we have people that, you know, run no-kill shelters here, right? So unless the animal is sick, you know, they keep it there, trying to adopt it out for as long as they can. But you know, very well, somebody's putting in a cat that's like 5-6 years old, they're going to have a hard time adopting it. You know, so yeah, it's really sad. But anyways, we got kittens. And there was one older cat there. My heart went out to her. She was so cute. Oh my God, she was beautiful. Now, inset circles are not without their finagling. And if you don't know what finagling is, sometimes you have to bend the rules just a little bit. Just a bit. I know. It's like, yeah, and I got a crazy background color, and I got crazy this, and I got crazy that. Yeah, it's all okay. It's all fine. It's all fine. Man. Okay. There we go. There. And you just take your time. You just do a bit at a time, and then you fuss with it a little, and then you do a bit more and you fuss with it a little. That's the trick of inset circles. That's the trick of making a lovely inset circle. Now, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's get the extra thread off. Oops, why is there this? Okay, there it is. And now we just got to get right to the end. Yeah, so it's been very busy. The kittens are still in that exploring the house, teenager, let's see what trouble we can do. It's like, oh my god. Thing that kills me at night, we have dark gray mats at our front and back door. And the kittens are dark gray. One is kind of a mottled dark gray, medium gray, and the other one is dark gray with white socks. And I'm sure they're setting up trip hazards. Let's, old person death trap, here we come. Okay, so this is our first look. Bang, there we are. We are going to push those seams into the circle, just like so. Just like that. We're just going to push that in, and we don't have to really iron it to do the next stage, but if you would like, you can iron yours. And there we go. I know I picked a crazy background, but it works. I liked it. I like the fact that I found this stars, and I did a plaid because plaids are important to put into quilts. There we go. You need all the textures you can. So once this is ironed, it's going to lay absolutely flat. Now, when you press the circle in, or you press everything into the circle, it looks like applique. When you press everything out, it looks like reverse applique. And if you wanted this absolutely flat along the edge, you would press open. But pressing open means that you're pressing open or pressing away from the curve means you're clipping in this case, the red, right? The red fabric or the background, right? I'm quite happy to have it lay like this. Now, I've got a ruler and a cutting mat and a rotary cutter, and what we're going to do, and you're sitting there, you're going to cut your block. Oh my God, you're going to cut your block to have this string go through. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm going to have it just at a bit of an angle. Wait a minute. How long is this angle? Yeah, that angle works. Okay. I don't want too sharp of an angle because I want this to have a whimsy and kind of a modern twist and everything else that goes on with this kind of thing, right? Because they're fun. It's fun to do something a little modern, a little different and unexpected. So what we're going to do, this 1-inch strip will not add width, right? So you make sure you're past that point. Oops, hang on. Okay. There. You get your threads all lined up. Now everything underneath is on a bias, and your blue strip is straight of grain, right? So you just want to make sure that that 1-inch strip doesn't pull anything out of the way. And you create, and make sure your seams are being pushed in with your there underneath, and there we go. We got one side done. Now this is also, using 1-inch strips is really good for testing your 1/4-inch seam too. I think we'll be doing more of that kind of discussion. Now, there we go. I'm just going to give it a good finger press. And now we're going to sew on the other side. I know there's so much going on this block. It's like, really? Did you have to add a blue strip? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, because it was fun. It was fun to do. Okay. There we go. Move that out of the way. Now this is a bit bigger. The red is a bit bigger than needed, which is also giving you a little bit of wiggle room. And you know, it doesn't really matter then. There. Okay, there we go. We get all that. Oops, hang on. That's not. There we go. You have to have a little flair. It's kind of like making this inset circle into an art block without all the crazy work of an art block. Okay. And we're just lining it up. And it can be wonky. It can be wonky on the front. It's allowed. Because you're supposed to have fun with your quilting, guys. Fun. Okay, so now I'm going to press to the blue again. Oops. And, ooh, look at that. My 1/4 inch is pretty much on the money because you can't see the blue from the back. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice when your 1/4 inch is that tight? So let's take it and flip it. Okay, so let me get this all ironed and pressed the right way and make sure. Now, before you start, inspect for micro puckers. Sometimes your micro pucker can work itself out just by dragging your nail back and forth across it. You kind of make the fabric do a little ease, right? So check around the outside edge for micro puckers, and that was the only one I saw. And that's the only one I felt. So that one you can just ease it out by, you know, running your nail across it. So let me get it ironed, and so everything presses into the circle. The strip presses onto itself, and you've got a perfect 1/4 inch when you can't see the strip from the back, but you can here, you know it's there. And let me get this all pressed and trimmed up for you, and we'll get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so here is the inset circle that we did. And this inset circle is a very modern interpretation of an inset circle because of the line and all the rest of the stuff. And we are having fun with these. I mean, they're a big 10-inch circle, a 9-inch hole. It's going to work every time. You have nice large seams. You know, it's a larger curve. It's easier to sew. Your 1-inch strip, it goes through, and it's a perfect way to test if your 1/4 inch is on point or not. So this one became fun and easy for the beginners. Now, the intermediates had a little bit different challenge. And we had another circle that we added, and we still played around with the red in the background, and we didn't make the circle edge touch, so we left it a little bit further away, so that was a little bit easier even for the intermediates. And but you can play with your circle placement. If you want a dead center, that's up to you. That would be fine. Again, the line just adds a touch of something very modern and, you know, kind of fun to play with and look at. We had a lot of fun with this one. So next up is, of course, the hard. The hard was one of these that just, okay, there's 2 green lines going through there. I don't know if you can see that really well, where the one green line comes through here, but it's on, but it's behind the gold and the blue circle. And then another orange. So you can play with these as to where they touch the edge, like this one does here, right there, or not. That's up to you, how hard you want to make this. If you're touching the edge, go very slowly as you're going across that edge that you're touching, right? Because you will get some little puckering if you go too fast. So take your time. This is not a race. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, what did you do with all the stuff that you cut out, right? Because there's a lot of things that you've cut out of all of these 3 blocks. Well, what I did, I made orphan blocks because I can. Orphan blocks are so much fun. So the orphan blocks, again, we start playing with this. I was going to sew on some eyes and make it a little guy, but it's an orphan block. It's not going to go into the quilt bingo. And we pulled out some English paper piecing blocks just to have a little bit of fun there too. These are all art blocks. They're all going to be orphans. And where is the gold? The yellow that got cut out of this circle is here, and of course it has a little, you know, English paper piece flower. We just played around with these English paper piece flowers. We thought, well, why not? You know, they're going to go into another quilt someday, so we might as well have some fun with them. Now, of course, fussy cutting happened when this block, this red went in, this red block here, or the circle went in, and I decided I'm going to fussy cut out that big lovely bird with, and he's now sitting on a branch. So this is like, okay, this is me going a little crazy. Yes, we had so much fun with these, and we left the backing on. We didn't cut that out. And then of course we had to make, you know, that crazy mushroom fabric that every time I post a mushroom fabric, I get an email from someone, where did you get the mushroom fabric? I no longer know. So that's the honest to God truth. But this one was so cute and so much fun. I thought, okay, we'll have a little bit of fun with these. So these are all orphan blocks, and they're using up the cut up bits. Oh wait, I gotta get this one out because he needs eyes. This guy needs eyes yet. Make it a little fat little round doll. But I do hope you're trying these out because they were fun. They were fun to make and fun to play with. And I hope you have an absolutely amazing week ahead, and your 1/4 inch, just like this, is absolutely perfect, okay? You take care and stay well. All right, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.